Mm-mm-mm. Well, first of all, I do want to thank y'all for tuning in to my first digital commentary for On the Cutting Room Floor, presented by Publicity Agents. And I am the host, Tony Ray Harvey. Everybody knows me as Antonio Ray Harvey, but please call me Tony. And this particular night, when I launched this whole thing, as I posted earlier today, I will be talking about the Sacramento Kings and the Portland Trail Blazers. And there's a lot to talk about because about 20, 30 minutes ago, the game ended and the Kings went up there and lost to a team that entered the game 7-21, 7 wins, 21 losses, and lost that game 130 to 113. And let me tell you, we can talk about the defense because that was a majority of it. No doubt about that if you saw the game. But what's more eccentric, and I'm going to use that word crazy because it's been used on me indirectly. Mike Brown was outcoached. You were just flat out outcoached by Chauncey Billups. Because for whatever reason, I don't know if they had that circled on their calendar or they thinking about the Kings of old. That team was prepared. You could tell. They were ready to play. That first quarter, the Kings led, what? 33-32? That's all the confidence that they needed to push this thing. And they kept pushing it. All right? They just kept taking it to these cats all night. And your team was not ready to play defense at all. It's ridiculous. And it pretty much spoiled an excellent night for your two top players. De'Aaron had 43 points, 7 threes, 2 steals, think about 4 assists, 4 rebounds, something like that. I have to look back at that again. Domantas, these guys came to play. Domantas, 31 points, 12 rebounds. Okay, 5 assists. No, he didn't get the triple-double tonight. He got his usual double-double, but those two cats right there was holding it down. And as that game was going, at least in the second half, as I was watching it, compared to what everybody else was doing or not doing, I knew that they had to wheel in and drive this thing home if they was going to win that game. But they got no help from no one. Okay? Thanks to De'Aaron Fox, because Trailblazers went up about, 19 points in the second quarter. Towards the end of the second quarter, going into the half, I think De'Aaron scored like 10 straight points. Okay, so which they were trailing by 7 points. It was 67-60 Trailblazers at that point. Okay, so you would think that after halftime they would get things going and come back and be firing on all cylinders. That didn't happen. The Trailblazers, who were 3-10 at tip-off at the Moda Center in Portland, Oregon, okay, have lost like 8 of their last 9 games. Okay, I think their recent win was Phoenix Suns. Okay, about 3 games ago, something like that. But they did beat the Phoenix Suns there. But for whatever reason, Chauncey Billups had these cats ready to go. Okay. The bench scored 65 points. The Trailblazers bench scored 65 points. Okay. And if I go back to it, Scoot Henderson, who's now coming off the bench, he had 17 points. Duop Reath, 25 points. Jabari Walker, 17 points. Okay. And Moses Brown, one of the starters, he had 11 rebounds. So, you know, they was cleaning up the board. They had 48 rebounds to the Sacramento Kings, 40 rebounds, stuff like that. So Domantas wasn't getting really help in that category too. Those numbers ain't really too bad because think about it, Trailblazers, you know, they were 16 for 40, so they was hitting a lot of threes. So there's not a lot of opportunity, you know, to get rebounds. But I did notice on a lot of those rebounds, okay, on those Kings misses, I'm seeing like 3 Trailblazer players around that ball. 3, okay? Not a Sacramento King uniform in sight. Whew, okay? It's definitely the worst loss of the season so far because this team is 7-21. All right, they're headed back to the lottery. But for what they showed me, and that's really the second time because the Kings barely beat them November 8th. They won that game 121-118 in overtime. But from what they showed me, there's a lot of promise in that team. Those some young players, okay? They were hungry tonight. And they had some veterans out there on that floor. DeAndre Ayton didn't play out something about tendonitis in his right knee or something like that. But Malcolm Brogdon and Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant, he's been in the league for about 10 years. You know, he's okay. He's a really good, solid player. I think he, what did Jeremy ended up with? 13 points, but still, some youngster that they got on that team, they came through. Okay, and their veteran leadership came through. Okay. Because you could just tell, you know, by watching Malcolm, he's telling, you know, everything that's going on. I'm pretty sure he was settling it down in a certain situation when the Kings were making that run. Okay. And they did make a couple runs because De'Aaron was going off. I'm sure, you know, he got that 43 points. Okay. He had his eyes on 50 points and winning that ball game. Unfortunately, that didn't happen tonight. Okay. But that defense, oh my gosh. Sacramento Kings, when they play together as a team, okay, you know, working on certain type of schemes, you know, communications, you know, everybody moving when the ball moving, okay, double teaming at the right time, okay. It's been working, okay, when they play with physicality, okay. It has been working, but that was not seen at all tonight. I really didn't understand what was going on, no more than the coaching is not there either, okay? And let's be real, you know, Mike Brown's a really talented coach. He's really extremely smart. He knows the science of this game, okay, on and off the court. He has an excellent coaching staff. Everybody's together, okay? But right now you're losing some really crazy games. And that tonight was crazy. I wasn't expecting that. Okay. Thought maybe I would have some chilly news going up here, but it's okay. So the Kings will be moving on. This is the first of their 3-game road trip. They're headed to Atlanta. They'll be there December 29th, so that'll be this Friday. So hopefully, you know, they can bounce back. But this is something that just they're going to have to think about for 3 days. Normally, you would want that to turn around in the back-to-back. Maybe, I don't know. They're not doing really good on that either. Or maybe within the next 48 hours. So they're going to have to absorb this, you know, sponge this in for the next 72 hours before they get back on the court and face DeJounte Murray and Trae Young. Okay, and those are some 2 dynamic, talented guards themselves. So you know they're going to be waiting on these cats when they get there because they're going to understand that they lost a pretty, you know, bad game in the Northwest, and they don't really think they, you know, try to get some get back. But yeah, this is basically where we are on this. Have to give, you know, hats off to De'Aaron. De'Aaron is definitely an MVP candidate. I'm still going to keep pushing that. But the Kings, okay, right now they're 17-12. They were 4th in the Western Conference going in. And as I mentioned earlier today, you know, there's a lot of mumbo jumbo going on in that in the Western Conference with these teams. They're 1 or 2 games apart. The Kings were 5 games out of first place behind the Western Conference leaders, Minnesota Timberwolves, who they lost the other night, 110-98. They go to One Center, which ended a 6-game homestand. So they finished that up 4-2. Thank goodness they did that. Okay, but now you done lost your last 2. And the Minnesota Timberwolves game, I can understand that. I can ride with that. I can live with that. But I can't live with this. Okay, this is crazy. Okay, they're gonna have to reach down inside and understand that it's a long season to go. I'm pretty sure they'll get it. They're professionals. Okay, they'll get it together. They'll move on. But this is going to sting for a little while. Okay, because now this team is 8-21. Okay, it's the second time you'd have met them. The first time you had to beat them in overtime. This time you went to their home turf, and you basically just got ran up out of there. Okay. I think I heard Deuce and Mo on the telecast talking about whether or not they're going to stay tonight. Man, give me my bags, put me on the flight. Let's head on down to the deep south, the dirty south. Okay, and get the heck away from what's happening here. Because yes, that was a crazy game. All right, but hey, when you give these teams that type of confidence, and I'm going back to that first quarter, okay, they're going to do whatever they can to sustain it. And not saying the jury is out on Chauncey and what he's doing up there. It's really been a tough time, especially these last couple of seasons, with Damian Lillard moving on to Milwaukee Bucks. But he has some talent to work with, okay? All right, so whatever he can instill in them, and have faith in doing it, and confidence is everything. Okay, I don't know what he said to this team. He's been in the league for a long time. He knew what the Sacramento Kings organization has been going through, as far as a 16-year drought and not playing the playoffs. He know all this other stuff that's going on. Okay, he know Mike Brown has turned the corner with this team. He has turned the corner. Okay, but now you got to keep going on down the street. Don't go out on the highway and get hit, nothing like that. But Chauncey understands, this organization, whatever reason, he pounded into them that you can beat this team. Okay, I don't believe Scoot Henderson played in the last game. Of course, Jeremy, he played in the last game. I think he scored around 40 points, 38, 39 points, or something like that. DeAndre Ayton, he played in the last game. As I said, he's out of this game, but woo! That first quarter, okay? And I'm also pretty much understanding. Go back to the Boston Celtics loss when the Kings lost their first game of that 6-game home stretch. Go to One Center. And Drew Holiday, okay? He was talking about, the loss after the Warriors. They got on the bus. He was listening to some music. Hey, what's going on here? Okay, they step off the bus. They're talking about running with the Sacramento Kings. Okay, and eventually, the end results, the outcome of that game was 144-119. Okay, and then he also explained that we can adapt to any type of style. Okay, so if the Kings want to run, we'll run. And they came off a back-to-back on that too. They lost in overtime to the Dubs in San Francisco. Minnesota said the same thing. But all Minnesota had to do, according to Anthony Edwards, was play defense. Okay? They upped the tempo. They picked up on the tempo. They did that most of the end of the game. But towards the end of the game, okay, they flipped the switch and put that defense on. Okay? Rudy Gobert, Jaden McDaniels. All right? This is our style of play. That's what they were saying. We can play any style. We can run too. But when it comes down to that defense, we know what to do. Boston Celtics, okay? Two-way players all over the place. They didn't even have Jason Tatum that night, and they stuck it to him. Derek White, two-way. Drew Holiday, two-way. That's basically all they needed, okay? You got Pritchard coming off the bench, hitting threes. Sound like the Sacramento Kings to me. You know, they shoot a lot of threes. Got two-way players. De'Aaron Fox is definitely a two-way player. Okay, and some of these other cats, Keegan Murray is a two-way player. But you're going to have to play defense. Okay? The coach must have you prepared to play defense. All right? Amongst other things. Okay? Let me bring this point up too. It was the fourth quarter of that Boston Celtics game. And the Celtics was up about 21 points. About at the 442 mark. There was a play where the ball went out of bounds. It could have went from the Kings, but I think it went off on the Celtics. But the Celtics coach, Joe Mazzulla, he wants a review of that play. He's up by 21 points. Okay. You could have saved that timeout, but hey, you know, probably Joe Mazzulla thinking, you know, hey, you know, if I win, you know, I save the turn, you know, I save the turn, I save the timeout. You know, I didn't have to burn one. But just his whole body demeanor, how he moseyed on out on the court, you know, after, you know, we waiting for the results. And of course, you know, it was confirmed that, you know, it was off on one of the Celtics players. But that pretty much got me too, because it was like 4:42 game left. Oh, we're going to win this game. Mike Brown. Okay. I'm going to rest my players, whatever, you know, have a cup of coffee, whatever, stuff like that. That was pretty much significant to me. Okay. Because they already made the adjustment by that halftime. Okay. Put the clamps on De'Aaron Fox. He only scored like 3 points after scoring 26 points in the first half. Okay. The coach and the players, you know, no, De'Aaron, you're going to get yours, but you're not going to get 50 on us. And it was his birthday. But I just brought that up because it was just pretty much significant of how these coaches approach the game in certain situations. Because, in my opinion, Joe Mazzulla didn't have to call that. You didn't ask for a review for that. Okay? You're up by 21 points. You know, just, you know, you can lose. This is the NBA. We know that, but we're not going to lose this game. Okay? They just lost the night before to the Warriors. They definitely wasn't going to choke this game. But it just let me know what type of player he was. And then, you know, after the game, you know, he was talking about how poised his team is. The team has standards. Okay? They understand perspectives. Okay? You know what? Each and every one of these coaches have their own philosophy of how they do things. Okay? And this is a man who has a lot of respect for Mike Brown. As he had told us last season when Boston was here that he had studied Mike Brown coaching. And obviously, he's making it work to his benefit. So, yeah, tonight, Trailblazers, 130, Sacramento Kings, 113. We could definitely say it was defense, but I don't care what anybody says. Okay? That's on the coach, too. That's on Mike Brown. All right? He has to take accountability, too. And he has. Okay? He has. He pretty much said, you know, he was out coached in that Boston Celtics game, which he was. Okay? And he does. Okay? He's a professional. He knows where these things are. Okay? He knows when he's been beaten, as his team has been beaten. He has been beaten as a coach. And his coaching staff has been beaten. He understands that. But this one, that's on the coach, okay? Because the coach should be there when it's time to play defense. Now, I know, you threw Chris Duarte in there in the last quarter and stuff, try to get some things going. He should have been playing in that second quarter. Okay. I understand it was a little flow going on there, when Dan was, but you got the shootout thing going on. Okay. All right. Anthony Simons, he had 29 points. Okay. I think he made about 5 threes. Okay. I need somebody on him right now to stop what he is doing. Okay. And he was getting to the basket with these too. He smoked a couple layups and stuff like that, but that didn't matter. Okay. Stop him. And Duop Reath, oh, I like him. Oh, my goodness. Okay. I already know what Jabari Walker, made of. He came through. But this Duop Reath, Chauncey Billups got some players that he can really work with, for the rest of the season. Okay. I'm pretty sure, can't be too that bad. I mean, there's a lot of losing going on. I think Detroit lost their 27th game tonight. Man. All right, Washington, they having their issues. This is really a lot of bad team, a lot of bad basketball going on here. But then there's a lot of good basketball stuff going on here. But the Kings just seem like they're just right in the middle. Right in the middle, okay? And as I posted earlier today, my introductory, this team is built to make the playoffs. But those deep runs that we're talking about is not going to happen with this roster. Okay? Kevin Huerter didn't really do anything. He's been on another slide. At first, he was down at the beginning of the season. Then he caught on. He was doing pretty well. He was definitely playing defense. His shots start to fall a little bit. Now, he's back to playing how he was at the beginning of the season. So that has become a problem too. Okay. I would have much preferred that the coach had inserted Chris Duarte in at that time when he needed him. Okay. When Kevin wasn't, producing, he wasn't performing well. Okay. At least you would have had a defensive player out there. Okay. Chauncey Billups had his defensive man out there, and his defensive man, Thibault, knocked down a couple threes. Okay, I'm pretty sure Chris could have did the same thing. Okay, I'm not no coach. Okay, I'm not trying to make this about me or nothing like that. I played organized basketball up until I was about the 10th grade. Okay, and I was cut basically because of my attitude. Okay. That's a long time ago. But when I look back on it, okay, I missed an opportunity to play under some really good coaches. But like I said, I'm not trying to make this about me. I'm just leave that alone. That's a long time ago, decades ago. But anyway, Sacramento Kings, they got another shot at it. This Friday, they will take on the Atlanta Hawks in the dirty South. Dirty deep South. Okay. And hopefully, can rebound and get that win. But it's going to be pretty tough with DeJounte Murray and the likes of Trae Young. Okay, they're sitting there waiting on. I certainly wasn't expecting anything. Oh yeah, matter of fact, Anthony Simons, I think this was his 11th game. He's been out of action for a little while. The show was good tonight. Matter of fact, now that I think of it, the Portland Trailblazers just won their first Western Conference game. They were 0-9 coming into this game. Now they're 1-9 at the expense of the Sacramento Kings. I forgot to mention that, folks. But anyways, yes, you know what? I'm going to lighten up on this because usually about this time I'm listening to other podcasts, Deuce and Mo, Matt George. I get up in the morning. I'm usually listening to Kenny and D-Lo and now a little bit of Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins. Little airwaves, but now I got my own little thing going on. I think, I'm going to pretty much keep this going as much as possible because I I do a lot, for this business. I am a reporter, not do sports. I cover other things. I'm in city government. I'm in the state politics, social justice events, things like that. And of course, I cover professional sports, as I said at the top. But hey, thanks for listening. I may not be back for the Atlanta Hawks game, but that third game that they're on the road, I'll provide some commentary for that one too. But hey, 22nd year covering Sacramento Kings. This right here, it's just one of those crazy moments. But I'm sure they'll bounce back and they'll get back into the game, and Sacramento fans will, be happy that they're back. Peace.